Good morning, everyone. I never in a million years would have thought I'd be sitting here doing a live video. But if it helps just one person, then I'm gonna tell y'all what's happened. And it's a long story, so bear with me. But if it helps one person, then it was a good thing. Um, well, I had a 2004 Dodge Ram truck, and it had 227,000 miles on it. And I got a job, but my job is 35 miles away from my home. So I was driving my truck back and forth to work, and besides the fact that it was just eating me up in gas, it was old, had a lot of miles on it. And one day in the winter, it broke down. Well, I'm single, and I don't have anybody to come and help me. So, after sitting in a cold parking lot for 4 hours in my truck, broke down, I finally called a tow company, and they came and towed my car home. And after the next day, I called and found a shop that I could put it in. So I had it towed to that shop, which cost me a pretty penny that I don't have. But I needed my truck. I had to get to work. Well, it was a fuel pump that went out on it. So that was about $800. So all in all, it cost me about $1,000 to get my truck fixed. Well, after that, I was afraid to drive it. Uh, I was so afraid it was going to break down on me again. And I just didn't have the money to keep fixing it. I live paycheck to paycheck and struggle with that. Well, so I called Battison Honda to see if they could get me into a used car. And they said, yeah, they probably could, and we made an appointment for me to go see what they had. Well, I go up there, and I get a saleswoman, and she shows me two cars. Two. I didn't walk the lot and see something I like and get to test drive it. She had two cars picked out for me. A white SUV and a little black Nissan Versa. Well, I started to do a test drive on the white one, but it was a little bit bigger than what I really wanted. I just wanted something small that would be cheap on gas. So I test drove the Versa, and I loved it because it was a little car. It was a 2016. It only had 43,000 miles on it, and I knew it would be really cheap on gas. So I decided to buy that one. So I traded my truck in as a down payment, and I bought the Versa. 90 days after I owned the truck, it broke down. So it would still drive, so I drove it up to an auto store for them to hook it up and see what it could be. And as soon as he opened the hood, he saw that the serpentine belt was broken. But he told me he could order me one and I could drive it home and be okay. Well, so I had him order it, and I brought the car home. By the time and it's only a few blocks, but the water light was coming on by the time I got home. So I called the dealership, Battison Honda, where I bought the car. And they told me there was nothing that they could do about it, that I would just have to contact a Nissan dealer. In my paperwork that I bought, the as-is box is not checked. What's checked is the dealer warranty. And there's a whole lot of stuff listed under that. Really what they should just have put is, in bold letters, too bad, so sad. But anyway. So, the only thing I knew to do, because I'm just broke and penniless, is to call a mechanic and see if they could come put on the serpentine belt. So he did. He came out, and it didn't take him long. He put the serpentine belt on. And he told me when he did that, that car has been wrecked. And it's never going to drive the same. So, I go to work the next day, drove 35 miles to work, and I drove 35 miles home. And as soon as I got home again, the car broke down. At this point, I'm just beside myself. So I called the dealership and I talked to the lady I bought the car from, and she informed me that probably what happened was the mechanic that replaced the serpentine belt tore the car up. Well, I persisted, and I called back, and I got a hold of the service manager, and he told me to have the car towed in. So I waited till my payday, and I got the $120. I took it up to the dealership and paid them, and I had my car towed there to the dealership. So they take my car apart and check it out, and they call me and they tell me it's going to be $2,700 to fix my car. It's all the electrical in it is messed up. That caused it to throw all the belts, and the air compressor is gone. Well, what am I to do? I've had the car 90 days. I haven't even tagged it yet. I've been scraping up the money to do it. So I tell the people I don't have that kind of money to put into the car. So finally, the service manager says, well, didn't you say something about maybe you would just trade it in for something else? So at this point, it's been 2 weeks. I've lost work. I'm broke. I'm discouraged. I don't know what to do. So I said, yeah, I guess I could just come back up there and trade it back in and get something different. And I know it's going to probably cost me a lot of money to do that in the long run, but, I'm a nobody. I'm nothing. They're a big company. I'm just going to trade it in, probably end up paying double, because the only thing I know, I have to have a car to get to work. I can't make no money and support myself or live or nothing if I can't work. So I go up to the dealership, get another salesman, tell him, I just want to trade that car in, get something else, start all over. So he leaves and he comes back and he says, you need $2,500 to trade that car in. And nobody is going to give you back-to-back note on it. So now what do? I don't have my truck. I got a broke down car up there at the dealership. I don't have the money to hire an attorney. They know that. So what am I going to do? The one thing that I did manage to do is I got to transfer with my job. So now instead of my work being 35 miles away from my house, it's only like a mile or a mile and a half. So I can walk to work and back. But that's all I can do. So the reason why I'm doing this video is to save somebody else maybe. Especially a single woman that don't have anybody to help you. Do not go to Battison Honda to buy a car. Don't do it. There are hundreds of car dealers all over Oklahoma City. Please do not go to Battison Honda. You will end up with nothing and in debt a lot of money for nothing. I line their pockets and I have nothing to show for it. And even when I was getting financed, in the paperwork, he told me that I had to buy all these oil changes for the finance company to finance me because they wanted to know that I would take care of the car. So I paid them $1,100 for that. An extra $1,100 for oil changes because they told me I had to buy them to get it financed. So save yourself and do not go to Battison Honda. And if I can help, this video helps one person, then it was a good thing. So thank y'all for watching. Share my video. And everybody have a good day.